How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about OCGN. We know they ended up releasing their earnings. We also do know they did an offering recently. But here's one thing I want to tell you guys. I will be going in with a position. I'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $3.22, being up 5.40%. On the low, it tested $2.93, and then on the high, testing $3.26. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 14.283 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 17.577 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we still saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 42.88. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And we've already confirmed that OCGN is in a bear market. It has been on quite the downtrend. So now that earnings is finally out of the way, I'm going to give you guys the good news. I'm now thinking to get into a position. You know what? I will get into a position. So how I'm going to set myself up, I'm going to be looking to get into OCGN if we get a pullback going to around $3 or even around $3.05. As far as for my stop loss is concerned, I'm going to put it right at the 52-week low, right around $2.87. Now, as far as upside is concerned, I'm looking for a move for us to get to at least to the 21-day EMA at $3.62. And I feel we could have a lot more buyers stepping in because this has been a previous area of support. And if we can move up further from there, then we can get up to the 50-day, which is right around $4.04. So that's exactly what I'm seeing. So I want to utilize this opportunity. And then I'm going to say, as far as catalysts are concerned, OCGN is going to be dependent on that. So knowing that the clinical hold was lifted, I'll be looking forward to seeing a further move to the upside, even possibly getting back to here around $4.50. But for the most part, things are looking pretty good. There was a good amount of demand on the Friday since it did finish green. So let's see how it performs for this coming week, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting in. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for OCGN. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for February the 25th, we have Bright House Funds Trust that purchased 6,343 shares. And then we also have the small capitalization, mid capitalization equity portfolio HC strategic shares with 876 shares. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 47.66%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.22 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 200,000, updated 27 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow-free rate, it is at 33.12%. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 24th, it was at 48.97, and then for the close of the 25th being at 47.66. So one thing that remains the same, OCGN does have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we see here on the inflow it's at 8.54, and then on the outflow it's at 9.11. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 4.77, and then on the small it was 3.77. Taking a look at the outflow side, it was 0 on the large, on the medium it was 5.94, and on the small it was 3.17. Also keep in mind these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, for February the 25th, so for the Friday that just passed, we had 0, but on the 24th we had an outflow of 2.25 million. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, or funds, this is where we had 0 on both sides. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 7.17%. So not too surprised for a stock like OCGN. But one thing that is very clear though, there are still many who are holding on to their positions. And as far as the technicals, you know what? I'm actually going to talk about that inside of the final thoughts because it does have a lot to do with why I'm going to be going in with a position. So let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I know you guys are going to ask, so Dre, why are you wanting to get into a position? So the first point is earnings is finally out of the way. And then number 2, they ended up doing an offering right around the same time. So as far as any other news that we do get, I'm expecting it to be positive. Also, when we take a look at it from a technical sense, it has done the double bottom, and as far as for the 52-week low, it is around $2.87. So on the Monday, what I'm looking for is that pullback for it to go to $3. If it goes to $3, that's where I want to get into my position. In regards to my stop loss now, I'm going to have it around $2.85. So the most I'm willing to lose is around 15 cents a share. I will adjust this depending on what the economic conditions have been looking like. You guys know there's been a lot of volatility in the markets due to the reasons of what's going on in Ukraine, and also taking into consideration interest rate hikes that we're going to be seeing for this year. So that's why I'm going to make sure I protect myself. As far as what I want to look for on the upside, I want to see this stock go back to $4. And I feel if the market picks back up as a whole, OCGN should be able to get there. So the first level that you want to have to really keep an eye on is $3.26. If it is able to get above this level and there's buying volume coming in, I'm looking for OCGN to get to around $3.62. This is right around where we have the 21-day EMA, and then I want to look for that move right around $4.04, which is right around the 50-day moving average. So every time it hits these points, I will add incrementally. So for the first position, I'm going to be going in with only 100 shares. So I know what you're saying right away. So that means if it has a pullback after you went in at 3 and it goes to that 285, the most that you're going to be losing is $15. That is correct. If we start seeing some movements in the charts, which tells me that there's a trend going up, then I'll add another 100 shares. Again, this is my strategy and this is not financial advice. I tell you guys, you want to make sure you use the right position sizes, especially when it comes to a biotech play like this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And of course, I had to be transparent to let you guys know, because I have been saying it in a lot of my videos, I will keep you informed when I take a position. So I will be keeping a very close eye on it for the Monday, because again, if the markets are really bad, it could fall below $3, and that's where I won't be interested, and I'll just sit back and wait all over again. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions have been loading up on shares, and we could see they've been doing this as of late. No surprises, since we did have that pullback going to $2.87. And then when we take a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So that's why I'm saying the market picks back up, we have that buying volume coming in, then we know this stock will move alongside in sympathy. And this happens for a lot of plays. If you take a look at the SPY overall, it is trading under the 200-day moving average. And if you look at many other stocks, they've pulled back in the same fashion. So as far as for
OCGN, I don't think it's too much to ask if the market decides to do a reversal for it to go back to $4. I think it is very achievable. So let's see what happens. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will continue to keep you guys updated, especially when I do enter in that position on Monday. But again, those conditions have to be met, like I talked about before previously. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.